Hello and welcome to my new channel, which is a dev channel. It's called OJP Dev. You should know that by now. You just clicked on it. There might be a little watermark over there telling you all about it because I'm trying to do this for real, okay? And I want to teach you a little bit about game development so that you will be enticed to come to my channel so I can plug my game like Oscar and whatever. And yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're making a 48-piece tile set. So you want to subscribe so I can tell you about Oscar when I sneak it in there, okay? So this is a 48-piece tile set. You can't see my mouse over here. This is my 48-piece tile set. We're going to make something similar to that. We're going to make this similar style because yeah, it's a lot less work than the others, and I don't want to sit here and do pixel art for 1.5 hours, okay? Let me be very clear. This is not a how to make great pixel art tutorial. This is how to make a tile set tutorial. Alright, if you're looking to make great pixel art, I would suggest other channels like Pixel Pete or whatever to learn about how to use colors and hue shifting and all that stuff to make great pixel art. Because that's not what we're doing today. We're just making sure that it fits together, that it's a cohesive tile set. That's what we're doing. Alright, let me show you a 13-piece tile set on the other screen. Ba-da-ba-da. This is a 13-piece tile set. This is the 9 pieces that we're going to start with. Imagine this is divided up into 9 pieces, and there's one totally green piece in the middle. And there's 4 pieces here, which are the inner corners. Okay. With this 13-piece tile set, you can make quite elaborate islands with in rows and out rows, if that's the name. But you can't make tiny little things. You can't make all the shapes. Okay, you want to make all the shapes, and that's why you need a 48-piece tile set. So we're going to start by making a 9-piece tile set like this. We're going to do that in everybody's favorite pixel program, Sprite. We are going to make a new canvas of 96 times 96 pixels. And to make it easier to see what we're doing, we're also going to put on grid settings and say we want to make 32 by 32 piece tiles. Alright, this is our 9 tiles. We're going to make some grass, and we're going to make some dirt and some rocks or whatever. And we're going to need some colors. So first, I'm going to take a very light green color like this. Maybe not that light, so make it a little bit darker. I'm going to paint a little bit on our canvas right here. And then I'm going to tell a sprite that, hey, I want to make a new palette from this sprite. This sprite only has this green color and the transparent color. So when I press this button, I only have these 2 colors. Which is awesome, because this is what I wanted. Okay. We can actually just delete this color right away, because right now we're just working on the palette. So we're choosing the green color. We're going to do something called hue shifting. Okay, this is the hue right here. You see the mouse? This is the actual color. There's also up here to decide how much intensity there is in the green and how much black there is in the green. So the further down, the darker it gets. The further to the right, the more intense it gets. And we can mess with the hue by just scrolling the wheel while having the mouse out here. So we start with this color. We put our mouse right here and we scroll the wheel a little bit up. You see that little dot over here? This little dot just moved a little bit to the right towards the blue. And we're going to make it a little bit more intense and a little bit more dark. We press this button to add this color to our palette. And you see this is a little hue shifted, a little darker, and a little bit more intense. And we're going to do that a couple of times, okay? Scroll the wheel, a little bit darker, a little bit greener. Make the color. Scroll the wheel, a little bit darker, a little bit greener. Make the color. Do that until we have a very nice palette of all types of green that match really well together. can make a really, really dark one. That's almost black. You see how nicely these colors fit together. We can make some really nice grass with that. If we were very good pixel artists. And again, huge disclaimer. Go watch someone else for that. Alright, we're gonna go into the cyan. We're gonna do like a little bland, a little dark color like this. Still cyan though. We're gonna add this color. This is gonna be our rocks. We're gonna do the same thing. Darker, more intense, more towards the blue. Darker, more intense, more towards the blue. And darker, more towards the blue, and more intense. And then we got this color. If we do it again, this is almost black again. But this almost black is a variant of this blue. This almost black is a variant of this green. It's clearly green. We could make it even darker if you want, but we don't need that right now. What we need is some C. So we press the blue. We actually Q shift even more so we get clear blue over here. We add this blue, and again, make it a little bit darker, a little bit more intense, a little bit more towards the blue. Like so. We don't need that many. 2 is enough, so 3 will be fine. But you know, you never know. So let's make one more. We can always make more later. We can always like, oh, we want to add this color. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to take a dark grass color. Not the darkest color, but a dark grass color. And we want to paint a square that overlaps all 9 tiles. We do not want to cross the 50% boundary. We could cross it down here if we want, but it will be more editing later when we make the thin parts. So just to keep it simple, we keep it on this side all the time. We don't have to make this edge the same size as this edge, but it will look more symmetrical. It will look better. So we're going to do that. We can also make this part a little bit taller, like this. I'm going to press E. I'm going to make the eraser very big, so I can easily just snap off these bits. Alright, this is the border of our grass. This is where we kind of want the grass. In fact, we want the grass to be going like a little bit rounded like this. We want to do a lot of stuff with the grass. We can actually just delete this, because this is just the boundary, as I said. And the most important thing about the boundary is where it transitions from one tile to another. This tile will have to match this tile, which it will, because we're making them next to each other. But it will also have to match this tile, meaning that we do not want to mess with this position. We want this position, the green over here, to be in the same position as the green over here. And same, we want this green to be in the same position as this green. Like so. So we're gonna delete everything but the transition areas, because that is the most important thing. And then we're gonna draw a much more dynamic and much more green, more grass like thing. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a little crooked, a little strange like this. Okay, maybe not that strange, but a little bit strange is good. You don't want it to be like completely straight, unless that is your style. Again, you have to know what kind of style are you after, what kind of mood are you after, what kind of thing are you doing. This, however, would not look good. We are going to get rid of that, because if we have one pixel sticking out, it's going to look quite terrible. And this also looks quite terrible, so let's not hodgepodge it too much. I just told you this is not really about how to make great pixel art, but let's not make terrible pixel art. Come on. Come on, what are we doing here? Also, I want this part of the image to have lots of rocks and stuff on it. I want some room to do that, so we're going to put that up. We're trying not to get past this 50% mark, because there will be more editing later when we stitch them together if we do that. Okay. So we are just trying to make this line dynamic and nice while keeping the transitions. We're trying to avoid single pixels like this. And we are trying to make some kind of interesting shape for our grass. You can do it like this, but then we have to remember to do the same thing over here. We don't have to have the same position as over here, but we need this position to be this position, or at least at maximum 1 pixel shifted. Because if we shift this to over here, it's going to be leaving a great gap. It's not going to look good. We also want to avoid double edges like this, because it's going to look a lot thicker over here than over here when you see it from afar. Which sometimes we want, but in this case, this is the borderline, and we do not want that. Alright, then, as I shift in, we're going to make a new layer. We're going to put that layer down here. We're not going to bother renaming the layer. Usually you have to rename the layer to make sure you don't mess it up. But this is the grass, and we're going to merge this very, very soon. We're just going to lock the grass layer. We're going to put it on top of the other layer so we can make the rocks underneath without disturbing the grass. So, press B. We are going to use a neat little trick to save a little bit of time. We're going to make a basic shape. We're not going to use the darkest color, actually. We're going to use the second darkest rock color. We're going to make a basic little rock. You can, in fact, even take this and make a smaller rock. See, it actually dissolves. That's not that great. So we have to fix that rock again. Trying to make it kind of rock shaped, like unpredictable. Okay, we press M, we select this rock, and then we say Control B. That will make this into a stencil. So we can paint with this. We can draw like this if we want. Make all kinds of cool effects. But that's not what we're doing right now. We are making an outer rock. Like so. Make one over here as well. And we have to make sure that the transition between this rock, this tile, and this tile is the same. So we're going to push this rock right in the middle right here. We're going to notice exactly where we put it. I'm going to use this little thing here to mark the seam. And we're going to put this in the exact same spot over there. Because that means that this part will fit this part perfectly, because it's the same part. We can even do like this, but we don't want to do that. We take the other rock. And then we use this, again, Control B. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put this right here, right here, right here, and right here. And now you can see we have way too much rock. Hang on. Let's press back to discard the brush. And then we use our erase tool to decide which rocks are on the outside of what. And again, there's no real given rule here. You can have this one on the outside, you can have that one on the outside. Doesn't really matter that much. I think we're going with this rock on the outside actually. And you see I'm making this way too consistent. Let's do a crazy experiment. Make this on the outside again. And then we can make this on the outside. And try not to make the same pattern everywhere. Alright. Does that look good? It doesn't look terrible, but no, it does not look that particularly good. But it doesn't matter. Again, this is not a how to draw the best rocks tutorial. This is how to make a tile map that suits your needs as a game developer. And let the artist do the art stuff. We're gonna make letter, and we're gonna do G. We are going to do G on most of them, but not right here. We're gonna do G to fill. All these rocks, they look very, very blue here. But it doesn't really matter that much. Rocks can absolutely be this color. There is no rule that says that all rocks have to be gray, except people who make stupid rules that they should not. Okay, this is a great rock color. Okay, we make all of them this color, and then we make highlights. That's not highlight. Hang on. Oh, that's too much. We make the highlights this color. What have I done now? We're trying to make a brush again, are we? Let's not make any brushes. Let's go back. Alright, very good. Then we want to think about where is the sun in this picture, and I'm going to imagine the sun being over here, and I'm going to make the faces that are facing the sun bright. Again, not a pixel art how to make great rocks tutorial. We're simply going to do this very quick and dirty. This rock behind there is actually sheltered by the other rock, so it doesn't get any highlights. Doesn't have a side facing the sun. This one, however, gets lots of sun because it's the big rock facing outwards, like so. And we are also going to use the other color. Remember, this is our transition, so we have to make sure that what we do here fits alright with this color over here. I think that will be okay. We have these doubles. I don't want these doubles, so I'd rather spend one of these. I'll put one of these there, like so. Even though it doesn't make much sense when you look at it from this angle. When you're out here, it's fine. It's gonna be alright. Let me take the darker color. We simply scatter it a little bit. Again, make sure that this is okay with being on this side. Maybe we can do the same thing over here. It's not a big transition. We do a little bit. The the rock that was behind here didn't get much of the other stuff because it was hiding behind the other ones. It didn't get any highlight. It gets more of the dark color. And same thing here. Remember, this is our grass line. Everything behind here is not going to be seen at all. So I'm not worried about that at all. Alright, we're going to just make a little bit dark here. We're going to do the even darker one. That's the one we used here. We're going to use the darkest one we have. And we're going to make this and all the transitions where it's like really, really dark. Like here. Make a little bit under here. Under here. Just scatter it around like so. We are going to be making what do you call it? Not a highlight. Shadow effect around here. Wouldn't actually add it over here. Remember, the light is coming from this direction. So if anything, we want this to be lighter than the other stuff. So we want the dark stuff to be primarily on this side of the rocks. But again, we are not trying to make perfect pixel art here. We're just trying to make some rocks that looks fairly decent from this and at this size. And we're also trying to do it very quickly because we want to make a whole tile set in under half an hour. So let's call this good. I'm serious. Let's just pretend that this is perfect. We're going to merge down. So both of these layers are now one layer. Actually, we did that too quickly. We are going to finish our grass. We are going to unlock this layer. We're going to lock this layer. Now we have both layers locked. Okay. We're going to try to erase this and see if this is on the level. It's not. Very good. That's my coffee machine telling me, too late, bud. I'm turning off. Look there. I'm prepared. Alright. So what we're going to do, we're going to press W. Make sure we're working on the layer with the grass. Press W and press this side. And then we got a selection of the inside of our grass. Unfortunately, I can't recall if we used this green or this green for outline. I'm going to try selecting this and we're going to say Shift O. And then we're going to figure out, then yes, that we did do this green. So we're actually going to use this green. Actually going to nope out of that first. Alright. I'm going to select the lighter green and we're going to go Shift O and it's going to fill out an outline on the inside. I would call that an inside, but it's clearly marked outside. I don't really understand this pattern. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand what this means and this means, but sometimes when it doesn't look right, you can just click it. It will work. Just click something. At some point it will look how you want, and how I want it to look is to have a consistent line on the inside throughout. Don't be fooled by this. We're gonna do the outside even though it's on the inside. Very strange, but alright. What we're gonna do then, we're gonna press B and we're gonna do a little bit of reinforcement some places. Try not to make transparent little holes like this. We can touch these corners here, like so. But if we have built up, now this is 3 pixels wide. 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels wide. That's a lot. We have to do that the same way here. 4 pixels wide. Again, we could make 3. But when it's 4 over here, we have to make 3 or 5. And we have to be very careful about that. Because if we make 5 and we have 3, or if we we can't match a 3 and a 5. We have to match a 4 and a 5 and a 4 and a 3. And the more pieces you make, the more intricate this becomes. So we just build up these transitions first, because these are the most hazardous. The other places we can do pretty much whatever we want. Just do a little bit here, do a little bit there. I want to do some more inrows where it naturally does that. So like in this corner, we just make this corner stronger. Like here. Try not to make like 90-degree big things like this. We do actually want to go in here, which means that we do want to go in here as well. We don't have to do it precisely the same, just the number of a pixel in this direction should be not more than 1 pixel off, if you understand. Alright, we actually do want to do that, so we have to remember to do that as well. Here, a little bit over here, a little bit over here. This direction, we can do exactly what we want. Just make sure that it's quite all right. We'll do a little bit more here. Really do want to make a little bit more there as well. But we're going to do a layer more. Remember, we have this color, so we choose the even lighter color. Take off the selection with escape. Press the W. Put here, and then Shift O to make one more layer on the inside. We can continue the things that we just made, or we can do the opposite. Either is fine. Both is not that great. You have to choose one. I'm going to continue. I think that looks great. But if you want, you can do like the opposite and do like out where it goes in, make it a little more dynamic. Again, either is fine. Both, not cool. So we're just going to continue on the path that we were going. Make it a little bit stronger, not that much, but a little bit. And remember these, notice that these have like double edges like that. And we typically don't want that. So we're going to help it a little bit. Doom-ba-doom-ba-doom. Widen it a little bit like here. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And we're not going to touch the corner. The transition. Sorry, the transition. Alright. And that looks pretty good. We're going to do that one last time. Put the wand in here. And then this time, we didn't need the wand, because we're just going to color this whole thing light green. Now, this type of texturing and shading here, it's called pillow shading. And it is not recommended to do on solid objects, single objects, because it kind of implies that the sun is coming directly from the top and just hitting the middle here, which is, unless you live at the equator and it's exactly noon or whatever, that's not likely going to happen. Usually you have the sun at an angle, and what you really want to do is to keep that angle consistent. So you don't want to have the shadow coming in this direction on one piece and that direction on another piece. And that's why you never want to do this pillow shading as a general rule. But since we are making such a big object, remember, you're not going to usually see this whole island. We're not going to have islands like this. This is building blocks. We're building our island. And usually you're just going to see a little bit of the island. And people are very used to seeing islands like this, so they're not going to go like, you know what, that does not make much sense. There's one thing we want to do, though. We want to strengthen the outline of this here. So do the darkest color. Not like this though. We are going to merge these so we don't have to worry about which layer we're on. If you have sort of an art director or something that you have to run every artwork through, you absolutely do not want to do that. But again, if you have an art director, you're not really... It would make much sense for you to go and see me on the internet to find out how to make a tile map. So, we're going to do brush, and we're going to try to find out why that doesn't work. That's because this is locked. We're going to do B for brush, and we're going to just mark every single tile that's underneath here. It doesn't matter if it's this color or this color. We're going to make it the darkest color to make it stand out a lot. It's going to make a sharp edge right here. It's not going to look good over there though. That's an issue. So we're going to do this. Come on. Alright. And we're going to mark, not this one, underneath all the greens. Make sure that it really looks like the grass is sticking out. There's like a gap between the grass and the rocks underneath. And also sends a very clear visual cue to the player that you're not allowed to cross here. This is not fun rocks you just jump over. This is a barrier. You're not going anywhere over here. Okay. The compel says no. Do not cross. Thou shalt not cross. Alright. What we're also going to do is we're going to take our water. We're going to take one of these waters. Actually, that didn't look that great. We're going to take these waters because those look better. We're going to do the same thing with the shadow. We're going to draw around. On the outside, always the outside here. Dibby-dibby-doo. And I'm not worried about this because it's just on the outside of this. I know that this lines up. So when I'm one on the outside, that's going to line up. And remember this part? Where I put this part? Yeah. We're just going to paint over that. It's not going to be a problem. You can even do it right here. Doesn't matter if it's double. It's fine. This is a little corner. It's like a little, what do you call it? Crevasse? Creek? A little... Yeah, it's an indentation here. I'm actually going to continue this one a little bit over here. No, we're not. What are we going to do? We're going to take this color. Are we going to take this color over here? Why? Can't really see it anyway. Doesn't matter. We're going to soldier on. I'm going to take this blue. And are we going to actually do the whole thing? Because this is just where the water meets the stone thing. So we're not actually going to do that all over. Sorry. I'm just going to do that for the rocks that we can see. And we're going to do it a little bit extra up here. If we have to do a little bit of extra here as well to make it look alright, then that will be fine. Alright, this is our basic 9-piece island. Again, not the best looking 9-piece island ever made, but pretty decent. And considering we just spent half an hour making that with the intro, that's fine. So, to make it 13-piece, we increase the canvas size. We're going to use the canvas size, not the sprite size. We're going to make the width twice, which is 192. But don't trust me, trust your computer. Say times 2. Make sure that we start from this side. And there you go. Now we have 9 more tiles. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to copy over these sides to make the inner corners. Because we want the inner corners to look good. What is this? What we also can do, before we get to this part, is going to make some more shadows. Underneath the shadows that we have, especially in the corners, and especially in the places where there's really, really, really ugly sort of rock-like figure bits, like here. Okay. Like semi-rock-like structure, like so. We're going to make a lot more shadow, especially on this side. In fact, this one is basically like all shadow in it. There's a lot more shadow on this side, so we're going to make a lot more shadow on this side. We're even going to make some shadow over here, even though it's not actually on this side of the rock, just because it's close to this side. And we are going to make some more shadow. We're actually going to make more shadow over here as well. Continue this shadow all across. That way we don't have to worry about this transition. We have this one that matches this one. That is the most important. We can do double shadow here on this side. It shouldn't do it on this side, but we've already done it, and I'm not going to undo that now. Okay, now we have more shadow, and it doesn't look as terrible as before. It still doesn't look very super, but we're going to call that good. Okay, we press Shift S. This means snap to grid, so that means I can take this part. Did I paint something? I did paint over here. Let's undo that. And I did that over here as well. Let's undo that. Alright, sometimes you forget to put the snapping on and off, which makes strange results like this. So I accidentally painted something in here and actually made a little pixel up here. Try not to do that. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. We're going to take this piece. We're going to copy it. I'm not even going to tell you. Hang on. We're going to copy it and we're going to paste it. And we are going to turn on the snapping. Alright, with the snapping on, we're going to copy and paste. Put this right here. Copy, paste. This right here. This one here. Copy and paste. I did not actually put my copy and paste in this thing here. I did put Control C because I use that a lot. If you don't know which one is copy and paste and undo, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't know that by now, if you don't know that, then what are you doing, bro? You need to know that one. Alright, we're pasting the grass on this side. And then we are continuing this line. So we're going to take this green. And we are going to turn off our snapping. or else we're going to get very undesirable results. We're also going to turn off this selection right here, pressing escape, because otherwise we can just color in there. That's also quite annoying. We're going to join up this edge with this edge. I'm just going to quickly do that on all of these. Remember, that is this green edge right here. I made this 1 pixel in, but this is the same as this, so it's not actually a problem. Alright, I'm going to take these off. Then we put all blue in here. These are going to be all blue. Actually, kind of do want the dark blue on this side, don't I? Yeah, we're going to work with what we got. Alright, we are going to continue this line right here. I'm going to take away this one. And continue this line over here. We're going to think about this side hitting this side. That will make a very tiny little boulder. So we're going to make it a little bit bigger. That means that this will be quite wide. But this side mixed with this side would be kind of okay. It will be alright. Alright, let me take the main color of the rock, put this on the rocks. And then we take the shadow, which we had here, continue that. And then we take the other shadow color. Continue that. And then we take the highlight colors like so. Remember, this will go with this. So that will be fine. Take this color, put a little bit over here, but it's not much because it's not going to get much sunshine down here. In fact, we actually do want this shading to be continuing all the way through here. Kind of want it on this side as well. It's going to be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna fill this entire hole so it doesn't look that strange. Same over here. We're actually gonna do the doubles. This is not gonna be seen at all. We are going to do the secondary green. Do it in the same style as the other one, meaning we're gonna go out a little bit, some places, a little bit like here, a little bit like here. We have 2 pixels extra here. We have 3 pixels extra here. Here, yeah. A will be fine. That's only one difference, and it's not different in the other direction on the other side, which is kind of the danger about doing that. Alright, we're gonna do the last green. This is going down, so we're gonna keep this downward trajectory thing. And remember when we did the outline, that made double edges, so let's make double edges. By double edges, I mean like when, not like this, but we can do corners like that. Thick corners. I'm going to continue the same pattern as we have with the other one. And we're going to keep doing like accentuating the changes that we already did to keep that kind of consistent. You can even do even more, like so. Of course I have to do it here as well. Let me just put some of that. This has 4 extra green. This has 2. But that's alright, as long as this matches this, that's gonna be fine. This has 4. This has 3. Meaning that we can easily do 3 here. So I'm going to continue this pattern. We have 2 over here. We're going to hit 2 over there. Two over here. 2 over here. Like so. This is good. Sometimes you do get a little bit of squareness. That's just how it goes. We're gonna do like so. We're gonna see how many of the light green there are because we're moving in 1. There's 2 over here. So we can do 3 here and they will be the same. Remember, we removed 1 in, remove 1 out again, and the edge will be in the same spot. Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Sort of like this. Do a little bit extra here. This is in the middle, nobody cares, so that's fine. In fact, we need to make sure that this, since this is 1, this is 1, that's fine. I'm going to continue with our square theme over there, that's nice. We have 2 extra, we have 2 extra, so these edges will go fine together. We have a very straight kind of a curve here, so we're just going to break that up. Like so. Same thing over here. And over here. And now this is very dynamic and grassy and actually a little too much pillowy for my taste, but some make it. Some will say that this looks very, very nice. And we have been doing this for 48 minutes, so we're going to absolutely do a little celebratory save. Da-da-da-da, save as. And don't worry about that. We are going to call this grass on rocks, a tube. And again, don't worry about the little 2 there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Don't look at that. Alright, we're gonna call this 13 piece because we want to be able to go and look at it later. Now notice this is not actually a 13 piece at all. We might actually add a little bit of highlight here, but it doesn't really matter that much. Actually, on this side we make mostly dark. You can make a little bit of dark. A little bit of highlight, and then we call it a day. Fantastic. I am a little unsure if we should continue this blue around here. Kind of want to do that. Continue the blue all over here and all over here. But it doesn't really meet the sea right there, right? Best way of finding out is just to draw it up. Because the grass is so much above the sea that it doesn't really make sense that the water line should follow the grass line, because these are completely different lines. But it might look good anyway. Yeah. Yeah. And we are not trying to make something that's scientifically as accurate as possible. We're making art. So if it looks good, it's good. It doesn't matter if it's like how nature would behave and blah blah blah, you know. We have to sacrifice some realism for aesthetics. That's just in the nature of art. I just did a double corner, I don't care. We are soldiering through. Because if it looks good, don't do that though. If it looks good, then it's good. If it looks bad, then it's bad. And it does actually look better, doesn't it? Should even do even more. I'm a little bit torn about this. We don't worry about these sides. I'm going to delete that right now. As I probably didn't mention before, when you're making a big tile set like this, you would like some duplicates. Meaning you would like this side, this is the side that you see the most and has most of the details on it, to have many duplicates. You want to make this tile over and over again. You want 6, 7 tiles of this part. You want 3, 4 of these. You want 2 of these. You know. But we're doing it quick and dirty today. And we are going to delete. Come on. We're going to delete these side tiles, so I don't care about them. Goodbye. Goodbye. And now we have made our 13-piece tile set. And we are under an hour. Fantastic. So hopefully I'll see you the next time, where we'll take this 13-piece tile set and make it into a 48-piece tile set, which is actually a lot quicker and a lot faster than making this part. This is the really, really, really gruesome part. If you made it through this far, I promise you, the next step is so much easier. More steps, but it's so much quicker. It's just copy, control, paste, drag. It's going to be a right. Okay, so have a little celebratory save. Pat yourself on the back. If you followed along, you did absolutely awesome. Take some time to make it look as well as possible, because if this is the foundation of your whole tile. This has to look good. If you want to do animations, you do it at this stage. If you want to make duplicates, you make it at this stage. You can do duplicates you can make later, as long as you model them off of this piece and just keep to the edges of these pieces. But in general, you would like to do all the steps you want to do to your tile set while it's in this form. You have the inner corners, outer corners, and the basic sides, and all the other pieces are made from these pieces. It's just copy paste stuff. Okay, so hopefully see you next time. We're gonna make a 48-piece tile set. I'm BinOJ. You just made a 13-piece tile set. Thank you very much.